Uber and Postmates giving California a lift to court in a lawsuit over a new law restricting gig companies. The law goes into effect tomorrow. It's supposed to protect drivers, at least that's what they say, and other workers, but those folks are the ones who are protesting it. Joining me now to discuss, California congressional candidate, Mayor of Laguna Hills, Don Sedgwick. Mayor, thanks for joining us. This is just one of these crazy things. Another time it looks like California has shot itself in the foot because it's not just the gig economy, it's freelance workers, it's journalists, it's a whole lot of people who are now being forced into a work relationship that the workers themselves don't want.
That's exactly right. I mean, this entire law is based upon a lie. And the lie is that these workers want to be reclassified, and nothing could be further from the truth. We got to see this for what it is and call a spade a spade. They are not trying to help these workers. They're trying to help the competitors to these workers, the taxi unions who, frankly, are losing the battle against these workers who are independent contractors and doing a fine job. Most of these independent contractors chose this voluntarily because the agreement worked for them. They got the flexibility to work when they wanted, how they wanted, in the hours that they wanted, and it provided them the supplemental income that allowed them to survive in California, where the high cost of living has just become so skyrocketing that, frankly, many people need these side jobs. And with that flexibility, it's the only way to accomplish it. Right. Without that status, they lose the flexibility.
You know, we highlighted on this show how there were negative articles about this in Mother Jones and also in Breitbart. It's rare you can get, those kind of publications agreeing that something is so outlandish. And then there's Uber themselves. They're lashing out at California in the wake of this lawsuit. They put out a statement saying that state legislators had the opportunity to expend benefits to hundreds of thousands of independent workers in California, a step Uber had been advocating for, and one that other states had already taken. Instead, though, they passed AB 5 using a biased and overly political process that ignored the voices of the workers most affected by the law and granted preferential treatment to an arbitrary group of industries. Some people are saying that maybe if the state were to find a way to placate or assuage Uber and maybe Postmates and others, that they may do a carve-out for them. Would that be good enough for you, sir?
I don't think they should be in the business of choosing winners and losers, and I don't think it's the government's responsibility or even the government's right to go into every industry and to decide what the levels should be. I mean, should you or I be told that we're not allowed to enter into a money-making venture of our own choice? That's just not the proper role of government, and they're overstepping in this. And it's not just affecting the Uber drivers. I have a friend who's a journalist, and I think it's Vox that runs SB Nation. They cut hundreds of freelance journalists and editors' jobs, and my friend said that the only option that he really has now to continue with his weekly, his weekly column is to form an LLC. But then if he does that, he'll be double taxed. He'll have to pay tax on his LLC, then on his employee of himself as he pays himself. This does not help workers.
Absolutely amazing. I got to say, your state finds a way to mess a lot of things up, but the gig economy was manna from heaven for so many people. Mayor Sedgwick, thank you very much. By the way, folks, I do want to mention that we did reach out to his opponent, Congresswoman Katie Porter, and we hope to hear from her. As of yet, we have not. Now, if you don't have enough money saved up for retirement, you're not alone, but we do have good news for you. There's some new laws that are going to take effect tomorrow that could help. Stay tuned.